Many in a row. It all adds up to once storied programs vying for one win to change a losing trajectory. Miami against Virginia Tech. The Miami Hurricanes are telling everyone ready to listen that they're ready to play today. Molly, it started earlier in the week, didn't it?
Know what's on the line. They called this a must-win game, and tempers were flaring in practice earlier this week. Linebacker Shaq Quarterman told me there were numerous fights between the offense and the defense during competition drills. He said things got heated. There was a lot of trash talking. The offense even beat us a couple times, which is unusual because we're really hard on them, but Quarterman stressed he was encouraged by the extra emotion because they haven't given up on each other. He said they need to display that same fight and passion in this loud environment, Mark.
Yeah, Molly, Amari Carter, one of the leaders on defense and of the team, set the tone immediately in the wake of that loss last week against Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech receiving the opening kickoff, and on the return, Peoples out near the 25-yard line. That's where they will start. First down and 10 on this beautiful day, clear skies, and hasn't been clear for both these teams. Dusty, what do you think when you hear about teams throwing hands and practice at each other?
That's good news for Miami, right? They haven't lost that fight. They haven't lost that edge, and that's exactly what you want to see. On a 4-game losing streak, you want to see a little chopping it up, fighting back and forth there in practice. They still have that fight, and they want to show their best here today.
This Miami defense putting up great numbers all year.
They've been fantastic, especially playing on the other side of the football, lead college football at the 101 tackles for loss this season.
Willis, the starting quarterback for the Hokies. He keeps it on first down. Second down and long coming up. Ryan Willis, the starting quarterback, 60% completion rate on this season. 16 touchdown passes. There's a look at the defense we were talking about for Miami. #1 in the nation in tackles for loss. On second down, Peoples again. And brought down by Odenmi Obo.
Take a look at Gerald Willis. I mean, he has just been fantastic for this defense so far this season. Ryan Willis, the quarterback for Virginia Tech. You know, when Josh Jackson went down against Old Dominion, Ryan Willis was ready to go. He had prepared as if he was the starter and really did a nice job leading this Hokie offense.
And very quickly after that stop by Odenigbo, it's 3rd down and 8. Willis has time and finds his receiver for the first down at the 38-yard line. Damon Hazelton makes it beyond the 40 to pick up 14 and a first down.
Well, it starts with the protection. It was fantastic. And outside, Damon Hazelton become the go-to target for Ryan Willis. Outstanding route on the in-cut. He works back to the football. Nice pickup on a 3rd and long.
Out to the 40-yard line. Willis with the play fake, down the seam, complete. And he's got some room. Trey Turner, the true freshman out of Greensboro, with a long gain all the way down to the 15-yard line, 1st and 10. And there's a Miami player shaken up after that 45-yard play. That's number 2, Trajan Bandy, shaken up for Miami. Writhing in pain at the 20-yard line. We're going to take a short break and be right back. Trajan Bandy shaken up on this tackle. Number 2 for the Hurricanes right there. Lands on his right shoulder and elbow area and was able to run off the field a few moments ago during commercial. 1st and 10. They set up the screen into the boundary. Keene, touchdown Hokies. Dalton Keene with his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. And And Virginia Tech swiftly moves it downfield for a touchdown. And they take a 7-0 lead for Ryan Willis. That was his 17th touchdown pass of the season. Let's take one more look.
Well, I love the play call here. You've got an aggressive defense in Miami. So how do you slow them down? You screen them, right? You screen them. We're going to see as this unfolds, we're going to get a pull here. We're going to pull the center out, and we're just going to lead the tight end out into the flats. Fake the run, allow the tight end to block. Now he's going to release. You got linemen out in front on smaller bodies. And it's Dalton Keene taking into the end zone to cap off an outstanding start to this football game for this Hokie offense.
You see Willis with a pass there. He was 3 for 3 on that drive, covering 74 yards. And boy, Virginia Tech couldn't have asked for a better beginning offensively. They took the opening kick and moved it down in just a few plays into the end zone. Has Miami on its heels a little bit defensively, one of the top defenses in the country.
After they were able to pick up that 3rd and long initially with the pass, they came back on both next first downs and threw the football. They've been very run heavy on first down. Play action pass the first one, an aggressive Miami defense. Middle of the field's open. They come back again with the screen. So using Miami's aggressiveness against them here early to have some success.
Justin Fuente, third-year head coach. Let's go back to the studio, and then a fast start for the Hokies here.
Yeah, Mark Jones, I'm not giving you what's happened to Ohio State and Maryland. Plenty of points all day here. Anthony McFarland coughs it up, but Mary Chagosian Okonkwo recovers for the Terps. They're up, and then Dwayne Haskins to Ben Victor. Just his 2nd catch of the day. We're tied up on ABC, 40 seconds left. Jonesy, back to you and Dusty.
Wow. Who would have thought that game would have been that tight, Dusty?
Terrapins got some fight in them today.
N'Kosi Perry, the starting quarterback. The redshirt freshman number 5 for the Hurricanes. First down and 10 from their own 25. They come out in a 3-receiver formation. Play clock all the way down to 2. They just get it off. Or did they?
First charge timeout. Miami. Timeout.
Mark Richt calls a timeout. An inauspicious beginning, perhaps, for the Hurricanes. We'll be back right after this.
Rated M for mature.
Backs of the jerseys. That design mimicking the Hokie Stone. Might want to use some of that on the addition on the house, Dusty.
Use a little of that Hokie Stone.
First down and 10. N'Kosi on the screen. That's Griffin Jordan, the talented true freshman. And he gains about 5 on the play. Perry making just his 5th start of the season. And a tough, difficult, daunting place to make his 3rd road start.
Hasn't won yet as a road starter, but much improved a week ago against Georgia Tech from where he was in his first ACC road start against Virginia. Remember, against Virginia, a couple of early interceptions got him the hook. Last week against Georgia Tech, took that opening drive right down for a quick score.
Mark Richt said early in the week, he is my starter for this game.
He believes in this quarterback.
2nd and 5, they're going to run it. That's Travis Homer with nowhere to go. He's going to lose a couple of yards. As we take a look at today's impact players, brought to you by Jared.
Yeah, we're going to see quite a few impact players. For Miami, watch receiver 4, Jeff Thomas. Sudden, explosive, become a much bigger target for this offense. Gerald Willis has been a one-man wrecking crew up front with 17 tackles for loss. Stephen Peoples, Justin Fuente said yesterday, from walk-on to now, maybe our best player on the roster. And Ricky Walker, one of the few seniors to lead that Hokie defense up front in the middle. Big number 8.
Hurricanes have been relying on Jeff Thomas a lot in wake of the loss of Amon Richards. They're going to screen it underneath. Homer will pick up the first down out to the 38-yard line. Travis Homer, the junior, picks up 11 yards to move the chains for Miami. And what does that do to get that first down for a redshirt freshman like Perry?
Exhale.
Okay.
Relax. Comfort. Great for N'Kosi Perry. A good start. And I'll tell you, the more I watch Travis Homer, I like this guy. A true 3-down back. He's a physical runner with great vision. Catches the ball so clean out of the backfield. And outstanding in 3rd down to step in there and be a good protector for his quarterback.
Perry going up top, has a man open. Oh, and through the hands of D. Wiggins. He dropped a touchdown. He got in behind Reggie Floyd and had nothing but the end zone staring at him.
You got to catch this football if you're D. Wiggins. They brought the corner blitz, safety rolled over the top, he stuttered, and a wide open D. Wiggins with nothing but the end zone in front, unable to track the ball over his shoulder. That's a drop that the young freshman needs to get over quickly, but man, it's a bad mistake early on this football game.
Those are the type of plays that sometimes can create a little conflict between the defense and the offense, and another incompletion. Lawrence Cager had it go right through his hands, so that's twice now in a row they haven't really helped out their redshirt freshman quarterback, Perry.
Pass a little bit more in front of the wide receiver, Lawrence Cager. It's a little swing route, puts it out in front, but one that clearly the junior wide receiver needs to catch. Help this young quarterback out on the road, and when the ball's near you, you've got to do a better job of catching these footballs.
Instead, they're looking at 3rd down and long. 4 receivers in on this formation. Perry down the seam. A flag going to be thrown. The pass is intended for Lawrence Cager. Caleb Farley was defending on the play.
Went drop 8. No pass rush. I think it may be fairly they're going to get for holding.
Holding. Defense number 3. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Caleb Farley, the cornerback.
Remember last week against Georgia Tech, when Perry made the start against the Yellow Jackets, he marched the Hurricanes down the field very precisely, productively on the opening series of the ball game for a touchdown. See what he does here on this opening series. Cam Davis in the backfield. From the 48. Davis broke one tackle and is brought down to the 48-yard line by Ricky Walker, the 6'2 senior out of Hampton, Virginia. He's one of the leaders up front.
He's the leader of this defense. Watch him up front just work here. Big man just going to work in a fight through that double. Stays in the crack whenever that tackle comes off to go to the second level. Gets up the field. Might have gotten away with a little bit of face mask there on Cameron Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they missed that one. Good penetration by the senior defensive tackle, who's really trying to impose his leadership in this young defense.
Hurricanes try to run it again. No gain on the play by Davis. You know what? Bud Foster has said publicly this is his biggest challenge. This is the youngest defense, the most inexperienced defense that he has had his entire tenure here at Virginia Tech. He's the guy behind the glass there.
He's been one of the best defensive coordinators in college football for about 3 decades. They were the 4th best defense in college football a year ago. 7 of those players in the NFL, a lot of injuries. And they're a developmental program playing some of these players before they develop. It's been a frustrating season for Bud Foster.
Perry caught, and a first down at the 20-yard line. Lawrence Cager this time squeezing it and making that catch for 33 yards. And boy, Perry threw a dime.
I like the presence in the pocket. He sat there, he waited, the blitz was coming. Khalil Ladler's going to give him a big shot, but he waits to the last minute. He stays in there and fires a strike in the middle of the field to his big target, Lawrence Cager. Outstanding job staying in the pocket, waiting for the route to develop with pressure in his face.
From the 20-yard line, Perry 3 of 5 on this drive. Hands it off to Homer, and Homer picks up about 5. Brought down by Holyfield. Travis Homer became the #1 running back last year after Mark Walton was injured and has held on to the spot since that time.
Mark, speaking of injuries, Miami star tight end Griffin Jordan had to be helped off the field. He couldn't put any weight on his right ankle. He's getting x-rays right now. I'll keep you updated as soon as I know more.
Wow, the little wildcat formation as DJ Dallas comes in to take the direct snap, number 13. Runs a little counter, got a good block on the edge, a flag thrown, and he's out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. Let's see if this stands. Got a good block from Trayon Gray leading the way.
Looks like it might be a hold. Also, Travis Homer. Nice lead block there on the counter.
Holding. Offense, number 32. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Well, coming up later on ABC, our College Football Saturday rolls on with another big one. 9-1 Cincinnati taking on 9-0 UCF at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Like everything else, you can watch it live on the ESPN app anywhere. Hey, what do you make of the fact of that game tonight? I mean, you've seen UCF.
I have. I was there a few weeks ago.
My national champs, UCF.
That's an explosive offense. Defense, I'm not sure, but it'll be a great scene tonight in the bounce house. Back to Molly's report. Griffin Jordan being out of this game is a huge factor. This young true freshman's jumped off the tape. Molly, keep us updated on exactly what it looks like with him over on the sidelines.
Maybe the best tight end in the ACC. Perry swarmed immediately after he faked the handoff and brought down. His progress going to be marked at about the 28. Jared Hewitt was the first one to get there for the Hokies.
And he's missed the last couple of games. He's just glad to be back in there. Guy that plays with tremendous effort off the inside. You're going to see him just get vertical and get up the field and create the negative play. Unblocked. He's the read man. He makes a nice play on the quarterback, N'Kosi Perry, in the backfield. Miami's already converted on 2 big 3rd and longs. See if Bud Foster dials up some pressure to try to get the ball out quick.
Looking at 3rd and 15. They've got to get down to the 10-yard line. Got a trips right formation for Perry. Play clock down to 1. He hands it off to Homer, and Homer makes it to the 15-yard line. They'll be about 5 yards short. And on comes the field goal unit led by Bubba Baxa.
Well, I hate to say they were playing for a field goal there, but it kind of feels like they were playing for a field goal. They took the ball out of their quarterback, N'Kosi Perry's hands.
Who've made some pretty impressive throws on that drive.
Yeah.
Field goal attempt from 33 yards out. Baxa 6 of 9 on the season. He has a long of 47. And he knocks it through to make it 7-3. So the Canes get some points on the opening drive of the ball game, just like they did last week against Georgia Tech. A beautiful day for the young and the old. Back after this. This is a big potential loss for the Hurricanes. Griffin Jordan.
Yeah, it is. Griffin Jordan's going to go down. You see him right here as he's about to go to the ground. His ankle.
Wow. That
It's
did not look pretty.
No, and he's been such a good weapon for this Miami offense, not just as a pass catcher, but also as a good blocker, too.
Leads all ACC tight ends in several different categories. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Jonesy, thank you very much. Updating what's happening at Yankee Stadium. Jafar Armstrong here. Syracuse and Notre Dame. That is Jafar Armstrong there with the touchdown. 20-0 right now as the Fighting Irish have the lead. And Ohio State and Maryland in overtime. Dwayne Haskins and the keeper. The Buckeyes take the lead. It's over on ABC. Jonesy?
All right, Maryland next week at Penn State for the Thanksgiving Saturday game on the jet sweep. Number 24, Terrius Wheatley. Wheatley with a nice run. Wheatley is the son of Tyrone Wheatley, former Michigan Wolverines tailback and NFLer for several years. Picks up 9 on the play. That Miami defense missing Michael Pinckney. And that's a big piece of their linebacking core, along with Quarterman and Zach McLeod.
Yeah, this linebacking core has been starting since they were true freshmen. The 3rd straight year they've started every game, and Michael Pinckney unable to make the trip here. They got Mike Smith filling in, who's a senior and played a lot of football, but not quite the same without 56 on the field.
On 2nd and 1, Peoples, wearing that number 25, gets the first down out to the 37-yard line. Willis making the tackle on the play. Manny Diaz, the defensive coordinator for that defense. Shaq Quarterman, one of the leaders. That is one of the top defenses in the country. That pass incomplete, intended for Peoples. We mentioned the fact that the Hurricanes lead the nation in tackles for loss.
They play fast. They play physical. they flat out get after it. You know, Manny Diaz hasn't had to bring as much pressure as he has traditionally because his front four can just rush the passer at a really high clip. But you know, when you pop the tape in, this defense is a legitimate top 10 defense in all of college football, which kind of begs the question, how do we find the Miami Hurricanes in a 5-5 situation?
Under 5.5 to go, a little draw play. Peoples again picks up 2 yards. And, you know, great things happen, folks, when you begin your career at ESPN as a production assistant, like Manny Diaz did. You could end up on a college football sidelines as a defensive coordinator heading one of the top defenses in the country.
That's right.
Who would have thought that a PA spot at ESPN is the launch pad for what Manny's doing right now?
And don't forget, it's also where our very own Molly McGrath started.
Hey.
For becoming in front of the camera. She was behind the camera at ESPN.
Trajan Bandy back in at cornerback number 2 for the Hurricanes. And they throw his way, incomplete. Remember, Bandy right there, number 2, was shaken up a little bit earlier. There's a flag down to the play.
Defense number 2, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
That's against Bandy, who just came back into the ball game. There he is. He leads the Hurricanes defensively with 3 interceptions. He and Redwine with 3 picks apiece this year. And what has been a underwhelming year for the Hurricanes. They're disappointed in their current record at 5-5. Looking to become bowl eligible with a win. Willis incomplete. Hazleton, the closest receiver. 4th down coming up. We're here in Blacksburg, Virginia. And Justin Fuente's team a couple of wins away from becoming bowl eligible. Trying to snap their 3-game losing streak. The Hurricanes trying to snap their 4-game losing streak and become bowl eligible with a win. I'm Mark Jones alongside Dusty Dvorak. Molly McGrath down on the field on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here for college football. Radburn with the punt. Thomas with the fair catch at the 15-yard line. 42 yards on the punt. Nothing on the return. Welcome back, everyone, to Blacksburg. Hey, you can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. So start your free trial today by downloading the ESPN app or visiting ESPNplus.com. And hey, you know what? Ride your bike to the game, take your car, walk. Just get here.
On a day like this, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Just get outside and enjoy this beautiful weather.
Cam Davis in a tailback on 1st and 10. Perry throws a dime complete out to the 25. That's Mark Pope, number 6, and he's right near the 1st down marker. Looks like he picked up 11, and they move the chains.
Throwing on 1st down. See Pope outside. Good route, shuts it down. It's a confident throw from Perry.
That one a little bit strong over the head of Mike Harley. Missed that one by a bunch. Good pressure up front by Ladler.
Consistency is going to be the biggest thing moving forward with N'Kosi Perry. You see at times him make the throws you want to see him make. And then as we saw there, just a simple throw to the flats. He airmails it too high for his intended target.
Under heat and sacked back at the 17-yard line by Holyfield. Dax Holyfield, a true freshman from Shelby, North Carolina.
They love this true freshman, Dax Holyfield. Going to come in off a blitz off the edge. No one picks him up, and he gets home clean. Poor protection. They did not account for the blitzing linebacker. And I loved what Ricky Walker had to say yesterday about Dax Holyfield. He's a football meathead. And he looked like one on that last snap.
Chose Virginia Tech over Clemson and Stanford. 3rd and 17. Perry running for survival and finally throws it out of bounds. Holyfield again applying the pressure.
It's good coverage down the field. 3 defensive linemen, and Holyfield kind of just hangs around the line of scrimmage, almost spying N'Kosi Perry. When Perry breaks the pocket, it's Holyfield that flushes him out and forced him to throw the ball out of bounds just to get rid of it. Nice possession for Bud Foster and his defense. Bud Foster typically on the field. The first time he's been in the booth since the 90s. He's been really sick all week long, unable to make it down to the field.
Spicer with a low line drive punt. And it stops at the 43-yard line as we go back to the studio after the 38-yard punt.
All right, Jonesy, thank you very much. A wild finish here. Ohio State and Maryland are in overtime. Buckeyes up by 7. Tayon Fleet-Davis the touchdown, so the Terps decide to go for 2. And Ja'Shawn Jones is open, but no! The Terps go down. The Buckeyes survive. Can't wait for the Wolverines next week. Jonesy, back to you.
All right, and Maryland goes on to play Penn State next week. We'll have that game for you in State College. Dusty and I, Molly, will be there. Willis keeps it and makes it out to the 44-yard line. Garvin on the tackle. Molly?
Mark, when one side of the ball is finding success and the other is struggling, you kind of worry about a schism between the two. And, you know, we talked earlier about the fights in practice this week. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but defensive players have said to me, I know our defense is motivated, but I can't speak to the offense because I don't know what's going on with them. I don't talk to them as much as I'd like. And defensive players have also said their only goal is to be the best defense in the country. But Dusty, isn't that troubling? Their only goal includes their side of the ball?
Well, sometimes when it's so bad on the opposite side, it's best not to say anything, right? I mean, just worry about what you can control. And I'm sure that, of course, you're frustrated that the offense isn't, you know, keeping up their end of the bargain. But as a defender, control the controllables. You hear coaches say that all the time. All you can worry about as a defender is what you do on your side of the football. So I hear what you're saying, Molly, but I also understand what these defensive players are saying. When you're frustrated, it's best just to focus on your side of the ball as opposed to being worried about something you can't deal with on the opposite side.
3rd down and 9. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Turner in motion. Willis comes underneath. That Hurricane defense can run, and they chase that one down. Patterson picks up just 2 yards on the play. You know, I was at practice earlier this week down in Coral Gables and had a chance to take the temperature of the Hurricanes. That is a very prideful group of players and coaches, and you could tell they had a lot of giddy up in their gallop. They were still ready and highly motivated to play this Saturday afternoon.
There's a lot to play for. Seniors on this football team that want to make it to a bowl game. Anytime you put that tape on, always being evaluated and looked at.
Bradburn punts it, and it's jumped on by one of the Hurricane players at the 30-yard line. 1:12 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back right after this. 1st and 10, Miami. 1st and 10, Miami from the 25-yard line. Check out the 30. Perry keeps it and will lose a yard. Reggie Floyd making the tackle. Well, when you're having problems on offense, I'm going to sign this guy up. Holding the camera. That's impressive. That's impressive.
Odell might be proud of that one. Hey, they've got to do a better job on early downs. They've had too many 3rd and longs for a young quarterback on the road.
But he can put that on video and post it on his Twitter account. After that catch. Out on the edge, this is Wiggins. Wiggins close to the 1st down, picked up 9.
Little swing screen out there to the perimeter. I love the blocking outside by Jeff Thomas. You'll see him in the slot working on number 9. Khalil Ladler helped spring that nice pickup on 2nd down. Now you're in 3rd and short, 3rd and manageable. Much better situation for this Hurricane offense.
And we have an injured player. That's Khalil Ladler. Shake it up for Virginia Tech. Good to see Wiggins make that catch a moment ago for Miami. He was the guy that dropped the potential touchdown pass earlier in the quarter. Let's go down to Molly.
Well, Mark, Griffin Jordan is ruled out for this game. X-rays were inconclusive, but they're putting him in a boot, and he couldn't put any weight on that right leg when he was walking to the back of the locker room.
That's a big loss for Miami, right, Dustin? We saw him get rolled up on.
And I was excited all week. I told you guys all week long how excited I was about watching this guy on tape. I mean, he just jumps off the film. And we'll look at it one more time as he gets that ankle rolled up underneath him. We're not going to see one of the more talented young tight ends in the country for the rest of today.
3rd and 1 for Miami. Homer's not going to get it. Stoned there by Ricky Walker. That impervious front for the Hokies coming up big. And 4th down coming up for Miami. And that's the end of the first quarter of play. It's about the numbers today. Frank Beamer and Beamer ball. The former longtime head coach of the Virginia Tech Hokies. Guy that really brought this program into modern prominence. And on 4th down, it'll be 1st and 10 for the 19-yard line. We had a great visit with Coach Beamer yesterday, running to him in the office and having a chance to chop it up with him. And we talked about a game that I did of his, one of his bowl games back in the 1994 season. Really a turning point for the program and really made its meteoric rise and ascension after that.
What a treat it was for us to get a chance to talk to the legendary coach. He's all class. Great to chat with. He was sharing some stories with us. He's now on the college football playoff selection committee, so we were talking about some of that, and he loves the fact that they honor him with this number 25 here in Blacksburg.
Willis, a lot of bumping and grinding going on down the sidelines, and no flag thrown as Trey Turner was working against Michael Jackson.
He may have a gripe. Crowd's not happy. There was a lot, as you would say, bumping and grinding, pushing and shoving down the field. Michael Jackson's a bigger corner, 6'1", 205. Justin Fuente, he's pleading his case to the official.
Let's take a look at today's Aflac Game Fact. Paying homage to the former head coach Frank Beamer by selecting a special teams player of the week to wear number 25. Picked off! That's Shaq Quarterman. Shaq still on his feet and inside the 5. 1st and goal. Hurricanes. He is the alpha dog on that defense, and he's barking loud on that play.
Outstanding job in coverage. It's zone coverage. And take a look at Quarterman. Watch his eyes. He's going to be sitting right here. Go ahead and roll that. And I love the fact that he keeps his eyes on the quarterback. Eyes on the quarterback, steps in front of the slant. Excellent job by the junior linebacker. Read it the whole way, steps in front. And a huge play for this Miami Hurricane defense. Break out the turnover chain, fellas.
Put that Cuban link on, Jack. 1st and goal. Perry into the end zone. Caught! Miraculously, Langham brought it down in traffic. Touchdown, Miami.
That's how you high point the football. Big time play by Darrell Langham. He's 6'4", 235, big, physical. Just throw the fade to the back of the end zone and let the big man go up and do the rest. Outstanding job going up, climbing the ladder, and getting a big time touchdown.
Darrell Langham with his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. It was Langham that made the huge catch in that win last year against Georgia Tech, and it all started with Shaq Quarterman's interception. That took it all the way inside the 5. Well, you talk about hooking up your offense with a nice short field to work with. The Canes defense doing just that, and they lead now 10-7.
21st takeaway of the season for this Hurricane defense, but what do you do with it? You got to cash it in for points. Wow! Climbs the ladder, brings it down with one hand. Contested, doesn't matter. That's going up and flat out getting it.
Wow.
The Hurricanes cashing in after a big turnover. N'Kosi Perry, he likes it here in Blacksburg.
Right now, I'm switching.
Langham with an education in elevation and concentration. Look at that, folks. One hand with the defender draped all over him. That is artistry. And that gives Miami a 3-point lead, 10-7, just underway here in the 2nd quarter. It'll be 1st down and 10, Hokies from their own 25-yard line.
Well, Mark, we saw the turnover chain made its first appearance of the day, and defensive coordinator Manny Diaz told us the chain not only sparks his team, but deflates the opponents. And Virginia Tech fans much quieter, and they're upset picking fights with Miami players on the sideline. They're kind of jawing back and forth, so the chain doing exactly what Miami wants it to do.
I'll tell you what, you take a look at that Cuban link. Got a lot of carrots in there. More carrots than a rabbit. It's a lot. Thing's heavy. First down and 10, Hokies. Pass complete to Keene. Keene had that touchdown a moment ago. I know that Adnan's got some bling like that around his neck.
I can't boast, Jonesy, but we'll get some video efforted. Today's moment of relief brought to you by Vicks VapoCool. West Virginia and Oklahoma State. High-powered offense, the Mountaineers. Will Greer to Gary Jennings. 14-7. It's over on ABC. They're through one. Jonesy, back to you and Dusty.
Yeah. See, Adnan's just modest. He's got a condo around his neck. He just doesn't want to say anything. 10-yard pickup on that last reception by Keene. Heat and a sack back at the 27-yard line. Joe Jackson. I'll meet you at the quarterback.
Well, how about Joe Jackson working on true freshman Christian Darrisaw? This is what a veteran defensive end wants to see when he's working on a true freshman. Just going to beat him off the edge. Hands, gets the rip up, turns that corner, and accelerates into the quarterback. Joe Jackson, extremely productive defensive end for this Hurricane defense.
That's his 6th sack of the season, 2nd and 17 now for Virginia Tech. Willis hands it off to Peoples. Peoples came into the game with about 550 yards rushing on the season, tackled by Garvin. Well, coming up later on ABC, our College Football Saturday rolls on with another big one. 9-1 Cincinnati taking on 9-0 UCF at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Like anything else, you can watch it on the ESPN app, anywhere. Tell you what, heard those guys talking about the success of the American Conference in the New Year's Six bowl games.
3-1.
Might want to invite them to the party at some point. 3rd and 10. Willis incomplete, and a flag thrown at the 45-yard line. Javonte Dean, the defender, working against Hazleton. And one of the great signs down there at game day.
Pass interference. Defense, number 6. The ball be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
What are the signs I saw down there? Nightmare on Herb Street.
I saw that.
That was cool.
That was good. That was very good. Manny Diaz brought pressure from the field, and then Javonte Dean rolls over in coverage, and he got there just a hair early. Too much contact. He's draped over the wide receiver, Damon Hazleton. It's a good call by the official.
This is not a timid group of defenders that Manny Diaz has on the field. They are an aggressive bunch. Bringing a little heat here. Peoples got knocked and rocked. Incomplete. And a big hit by Jaquan Johnson, one of the leaders at safety in the secondary. Plays like his idol, Ed Reed, the former Canes Hall of Famer.
Another guy that I love watching on the tape, Jaquan Johnson. The heartbeat of this defense, and a big hitter. Man, clean, hit him with the shoulder. Man, look at it. Look, to see the eyes. He knows that there's a blitz. He knows he's got to get over the top, and he's got that running back out in the flats. And, man, does he show up with bad intentions.
And they're going to review this to see if it's targeting or not. Might want to stay out of Mr. Johnson's neighborhood, though. Back after this.
Morning. Welcome to Mitsubishi.
A moment ago, Jaquan Johnson makes a hit on Peoples right there. And they were looking to review if it was targeting or not. The decision was no. So Johnson remains in the game.
I thought it was more shoulder than it was helmet. Turns his body as he delivers the blow with his shoulder. And we had a lot of discussion between the truck and up here in the booth during the break. And I'll just say the officials agree with me, Jonesy.
Yep. Well, Jaquan Johnson spoke with his idol and mentor, Ed Reed, a former Hurricane great and NFL All-Pro player, and decided to come back to school for one more season. And obviously a big hitter. 2nd down and 10. Willis running up the middle. Don't sleep on Willis. What a move. All the way down to the 33-yard line and a first down. Picked up 23 on the play.
You know, one thing about Ryan Willis, he's an underrated athlete. Got good speed. I love the fact that he felt the pressure coming from the edge. The middle of the offensive line opens up. Nice job running, a little spin move.
They run the jet sweep here. This is Wheatley. And Wheatley is stopped up after a gain of about 1. Let's talk about Ryan Willis a little bit. He began his career at Kansas, played his first 2 years for then head coach Charlie Weiss. New coaching staff comes in for the Jayhawks. They sit him down and say, we're bringing in a new quarterback. So Willis decides to transfer. And last year, he was on the scout team with Damon Hazelton, and they wreaked havoc on the first team defense and built up some pretty good chemistry. 2nd and 9, downfield for the freshman, incomplete at the 10. Intended for Trey Turner. And what happens when you get in the weight room, Dusty?
You don't just transfer, you transform.
Okay.
Look at Ryan Willis looking all swole.
Wow.
Man, that's quite the transformation. Excellent job by the strength and conditioning staff here at Virginia Tech. And, you know, I was just impressed with Ryan Willis. He told us when he was at Kansas, he got thrown into the fire and he wasn't ready for that moment just yet. But he said that when he was tired of losing and he wanted to come to a program here at Virginia Tech that had a winning culture, where he could be a part of a winning program. And then at Old Dominion, when Jackson goes down, Ryan Willis was more than ready to step in and take over as the head of this offense.
3rd and 9, a little draw. Peoples got enough for the first down. Little hand walk, stayed on his feet. A determined, inexorable effort by Stephen Peoples.
Tough, physical runner, and he's small and compact, right? He's 5'9", 222 pounds. It's tough. There's not much surface area to hit. He'll run through arm tackles, and that extra effort to stretch across gets him enough for the first down.
And there's a look at Ryan Willis's mom, Lois, former All-American triple jumper at Iowa State. Won the Big 8 championship back then.
Said mom's the best athlete of the family.
Yeah, he came back with that answer quickly, too. That's better than Dad, who also played collegiately. Nothing doing on this run. John Garvin making the tackle on the play after a gain of 2. Here's what Ryan Willis's mom looked like back in the day at Iowa State. Running the leg on the relay there, obviously, and All-American triple jumper. Some very good athletic bloodlines for Ryan Willis, and you saw his running ability a moment ago. 10th play of the drive. On the jet sweep, into the boundary. Turner turns it up and turns it on. Touchdown.
Well, that's exactly the answer that they needed. We're going to watch 25, Stephen Peoples. Okay, they're going to run the jet sweep, and watch Stephen Peoples get the key block. Bam, right there. He gets the block on 35, Mike Smith. Excellent cut back up the field by Trey Turner. And Virginia Tech's offense gets them exactly what.
As the Hokies kick off to the Hurricanes. Miami will take it 1st and 10 from their own 25. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Jonesy, thank you very much. A couple updates here for you. First off, what's happening with UMass taking on Georgia's Marquise Young here, scampering in for the touchdown. So Minutemen on the board. It's over on ACC Network. Bulldogs up 14-7. And also West Virginia and Oklahoma State over on ABC. Taylor Cornelius to Logan Carter. 21-14 right now. Mountaineers have the lead. Oh, there we go. Jonesy?
Hey. From the 25. N'Kosi Perry making his 5th start at quarterback for the Hurricanes. Redshirt freshman out of Ocala, Florida. Handed off to DJ Dallas, who's pushed out of bounds shy of the 30-yard line. Dallas has had some fumbling issues, had 2 fumbles against Duke a couple of games ago, was so distraught and disappointed that late at night he texted his head coach Mark Richt apologizing profusely for his miscues and misgivings. And Rick said, don't worry about it. We need your spirit and we need your skill. Nice catch and run. That's Mike Harley on the edge, about 2 yards shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 2. A look at last year's Coach of the Year in the ACC, Mark Richt.
And Mark Richt still showing a lot of confidence in DJ Dallas. Even though he put the ball on the ground again last week, that's one thing. I mean, he's got excellent size and speed, but he's going to have to do a better job taking care of the football. Crucial 3rd and short here for this Miami offense.
People's going into the locker room to be tended to by the athletic training staff. Perry taking a shot up top, has a man. Incomplete. Was he tackled? And a flag comes late at the 25-yard line. Jeff Thomas got in behind Divine Diablo. And that'll be pass interference against the defensive back.
Pass interference, defense, number 17, 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, Virginia Tech was loaded up. They had a lot of bodies in the box. 3rd and short, they go play action. Yes, and the hand gets there. Diablo gets there too soon. Jeff Thomas, a speedster outside. He had beaten the coverage, and Diablo just trying to hold on, slow down Thomas. Good call by the official. Well, Virginia Tech, they loaded the box. And Miami, they took a deep shot on a 3rd and short situation. With the pass interference, it pays off.
Thomas, the leading receiver for the Hurricanes, coming into the game this afternoon. Miami down by 4. Blitz coming. Perry sacked. Almost lost the ball. Tried to make a play dangerously so. Ashby and Ladler got there.
Bud Foster dialing up pressure. He's going to bring Ashby. He's also going to bring Ladler off the edge. Ashby gets home. Ladler gets there. N'Kosi Perry, he is fortunate because Holyfield got there, knocked that ball loose. Sometimes you just got to go down and fight that fight another day. Nice job with the blitz by Virginia Tech, being aggressive on 1st down.
On 2nd and 24. Perry downfield, overthrew his receiver, Cager. And it'll be 3rd and long. Perry making his 5th start, mentioned that. Took over from Malik Rozier. Had a great game against Florida State. After making his 1st start previous to that against North Carolina. And we mentioned he made that road start in Charlottesville against Virginia. The moment, in the words of Mark Richt, a little bit too big for him at the time, but since then he's really practiced well, done some extra film work, and shown a lot of confidence. Comes underneath. DJ Dallas with nowhere to go. They contain him and bring him down at the 43. Holyfield making the stop. Nice. To limit the gain to 9.
Nice defensive sequence there for Virginia Tech. They get the early sack. And then they're going to have to, they force Perry to throw it to his check down. There's good coverage down the field. Rally up and tackle as Frank Beamer.
He'd be proud of that play.
Yeah, he would.
Good defense.
Absolutely. The Beamer ball is very real around these parts.
Specializing in blocking kicks. A low line drive takes a Miami bounce inside the 10. We've had a lot of early fireworks here this afternoon in Blacksburg. And some real pyrotechnics on that catch by Langham. And a great run there for the touchdown. A lot of ordnance down in the field. Back after this.
He fired them up by saying, we're killing them right now. We need to continue to be the more aggressive team and keep beating them down, and this can be our game.
All right, Molly, and that defense holding up well, as you mentioned. Willis keeping it for a gain of 8. They've had some pretty good ones come through the hallways here at Virginia Tech. It started Bruce Smith. And a whole bunch of other guys.
They've had some,
it starts with him.
They've had some great players come through here. The defense so far for Virginia Tech has shown up and been good, and kind of echo what Molly said. Ryan Willis had told us yesterday that this Virginia Tech team needs to come out and out tough and out compete Miami And they're doing just that here early.
Defense, number 9, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Little overzealous that time, Joe Jackson. Saw him have a nice sack a little bit earlier. 6 on the season. Manny Diaz up for the Frank Broyles Award as one of the top assistant coaches in college football. 6.5 to go in the first half. Incomplete on the slant intended, and knocked it out by Bandy. Well, kick off your week 11 with Sunday NFL Countdown, from Halle Berry to Obama, from Biggie to Ric Flair, Drew Brees, Dak Prescott, Big Ten, and the rest of the NFL's quarterbacks explain where some of the game's most creative audibles come from. Plus, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff sit down to talk Monday night's matchup between the 9-1 Chiefs and the 9-1 Rams. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. And they're going to run it right there. Holston. Hey, hold on a sec. Let me go back to that promo.
A little Ric Flair.
To be the man, you got to beat the man, Dusty. Did you guys have any creative audibles on defense like that went, as Biggie would say, I love it when you call me Big Papa or something?
No, we weren't as creative as that. I apologize. Hey, but that's going to be a heck of a matchup on Monday Night Football. Those two offenses are fantastic.
And speaking of offenses right now, what do you make of the job that Willis has done at quarterback for Virginia Tech?
They've done a nice job. I like the way they've been able to run the football, right? Run the football very effectively. They set up some play action pass. They utilize a little bit of a screen game. It's been a very good mix of run and easy throws for Ryan Willis.
And he makes one right there, Dusty, complete at the 38-yard line to Damon Hazelton. Picks up 15 yards on the play.
Well, here's that chemistry we talked about between Willis and Hazelton that was formed last year on the scout team. I like the route, little in-cutting route. He slows it down. How about the strength in the hands to go down, catch that football? And we'll see if he was able to keep it off the ground.
Under further review.
Look clean live from up here in the booth. Damon Hazelton.
Guy from Baltimore who was not heavily recruited coming out of high school. Kind of a late bloomer.
Transferred from Ball State. Get a look here. He goes down.
Ooh, that is not a catch.
No, that's not a catch. He was not able to keep it in. Nice job by the replay booth to signal down. Went down to try to get it, and as he's coming down, he kind of bobbles, and that ball's on the ground. Definitely, this will be overturned and be ruled an incompletion. But, you know, it was interesting talking with Justin Fuente yesterday. He said that, you know, Damon Hazelton has so much further to go, he forgets he's only a sophomore. And he says sometimes Damon doesn't even realize how big he is. He's 6'2", 225 pounds, and just scratching the surface for how good he can potentially be.
Willis told us that Hazelton has a bunch of index cards taped on his wall, some 20 or 30 of them with motivational sayings and quotes to just get better every day. And those two have some great chemistry, Molly.
Yeah, that's right. They've been roommates for 2 years now after being matched up together when they first transferred. And Willis raves about Hazelton, saying he's the greatest guy I've ever met. He makes me a better person. And those note cards, he says, kind of inspire him. They say things like, get 8 hours of sleep. Don't take every day for granted. So it's nice having two guys inspire each other, and obviously you can see that chemistry on the field as well.
Yeah, Dusty, let me ask you this.
You ain't never
have you ever gone against
somebody telling you those things?
The receiver did not complete the process of the catch as the ball hit the ground. It will be 4th down and 7. The ball will be placed at the 23-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 5 minutes, 42 seconds.
What's it like?
5, 4, 2.
What's it like when you got scout team guys like those two did last year, tearing up the #1 defense? You ever seen a situation like that?
Absolutely. Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma the year before he transferred. He was out there, you know, getting after Oklahoma defensively. That's great. And you know what? Bud Foster loves that. You know what? The better that scout team can be, the better that's going to make my defense. And oh, by the way, they were a top 5 defense a season ago.
On 4th down. The punt comes down to Jeff Thomas. Let's check in with the studio.
All right, Jonesy, thank you very much. It's the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive update. Michigan at home against Indiana. And Stevie Scott the touchdown. First time the Wolverines have trailed in over a month. They're down 7-3. Jonesy, back to you.
All right, Adnan, and interesting when you have a couple of transfers like Willis and like Hazleton, both of them with a common denominator. They wanted something bigger and better for themselves, transferring from their respective programs. So the intent was all good. 1st and 10, Miami. Perry taking a shot on the post. And incomplete. 2 defenders back there covering Pope. Well, this week's college football playoff rankings are brought to you by Goodyear.
Notre Dame's doing today 23-0. Highly anticipated game at Yankee Stadium. A lot of people thought this could maybe be where the Irish trip up. Doesn't look like it so far.
I'd love to be at Yankee Stadium for that one. Little historic building for football. How do you like that, Dusty? As Perry completes it to the edge. That's the tight end, Will Mallory, filling in for Jordan.
You're trying to bait me into that, aren't you? I know
I'm goading you.
You know, yeah, I said last night, I just, you know, I understand Yankee Stadium and all, but I'd like to see football games played on football fields, not necessarily baseball fields. And I would imagine people there watching the game from their view, from their seat, you get a lot better view from a football stadium.
A little different.
I don't want to get into that right now.
I've called a college football game from Wrigley Field once, but we'll chop that up after the game. As Miami calls a timeout. You know the Chicago Bears used to play at Wrigley, right?
Used to. Why'd they move it back?
Okay.
Why didn't they just stay at Wrigley then if it's so great?
All right. Okay.
You know, whenever I played for the Chicago Bears, it was at Soldier Field.
Okay.
We didn't play at Wrigley.
All right. All right. Well, you know, the game grew a little bit. You know, you got. I guess you got to find a bigger venue. But I'm all for history and nostalgia when it comes to those things.
You mean the historic Yankee Stadium that was built like, what, 5-6 years ago? I mean, this ain't like, you talk about Fenway, you talk about Wrigley. Those are historic stadiums.
Right.
This is a brand new ballpark there for the Yankees, so.
You just took my fun away, man.
I know, I stole it from you, didn't I? In all seriousness, though, great for New York City to be able to host a game of that magnitude. And for those people, whether you're a Syracuse fan, an Irish fan, to be able to show up and enjoy it. Man, it's a big play right here as we're getting closer and closer to halftime in a tight ball game in Blacksburg. Both these teams need a win. Crucial 3rd down. You got to imagine power football. Good on good here.
Mallory in motion. Sets to the right. They run it that direction. It's going to be close. Not sure that the Hurricanes got it. Homer was stopped. A loss of 1. Holyfield leading the way for the Hokies.
How about this true freshman making a name for himself today? Man, is he playing well. Downhill football player. You'll see him coming right here off the edge. He's going to get penetration. Mallory, the true freshman tight end, in playing for Griffin Jordan. No match for Dax Holyfield. He fights through the block and gets a big tackle for loss to force the punt.
Line drive punt takes a Miami bounce down to the 22-yard line. Where Hazleton calls for the fair catch after the 37-yard punt. It'll be 1st down and 10. Here from Lane Stadium. Home of Beamer ball. And right now the Hokies looking for their 5th win of the season and trying to snap their 3-game losing streak. They got drilled last week against Pitt, but looking much better this week against Miami. 4:12 to go here in the first half.
And last week against Pitt, so many explosive plays, both in the pass game as well as the run game. They're more healthy here today. And man, they're playing as good as I've seen them in several weeks.
And speaking of healthy, Peoples back in the ball game. Little jailbreak screen to Trey Turner, who caught that touchdown a moment ago. Brought down by Shaq Quarterman. Well, this season, Taco Bell celebrating student sections and passionate fans like these. The Hokies of Virginia Tech by awarding the best student section of the year. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell. See if your team made this week's rankings and see how your school can compete. I know Molly does all the homework on those rankings. Yeah, she got votes, too.
Molly's on the committee. She votes for it. Molly, didn't you say Virginia Tech a top 10 student section?
Yes, it is, guys. Virginia Tech is the number 10 student section right now on our Taco Bell student section list. And just from the pregame celebration, you can just tell how amazing it is here. It is special.
Yeah, they need to make a little bit more noise to move up in the rankings. Right now, happy about the score as their team leads 14-10. The pass intended for Patterson there, and very quickly It's 3rd and long. So Miami perhaps trying to get a stop here, get the ball back.
Almost an acrobatic catch by Patterson as he went down and grabbed it. Excellent job ripping it out by the corner, Michael Jackson.
Six on the play clock. Willis. Great coverage knocked away at the last moment by Amari Carter. Stuck his hand in the way in the path. And it's 4th down, and the Hokies will punt.
Yeah, Carter running man-to-man coverage with Dalton Keene, the tight end. Outstanding coverage, working in the slot there. Look at his position, stays right there inside, gets his head turned around, arm up. Outstanding job working over the big tight end in the slot. Force the punt.
Jeff Thomas back at his own 35-yard line. Here comes the punt. And he's going to watch it bounce all the way down to the 29-yard line. Nkosi means warrior in African as we go back to the studio.
I can appreciate that warrior spirit, Jonesy. Coming up in the Lexus Halftime Report, the Buckeyes survive a wild overtime game against Maryland. Who expected that coming? Meantime, Syracuse get run against the Irish at Yankee Stadium, and also an update on another Big 12 shootout. Stop us if you've heard that before. Me, Jesse, and Joey at the half. Back to you, Mark.
Okay, Adnan. And Nkosi Perry from the central Florida city of Ocala. Dante Culpepper also from Ocala. Guy that played some quarterback in the NFL. Perry to the tight end, Mallory. And Mallory picks up the first down out to the 42-yard line. Picks up 13 yards. Mallory filling in for Griffin Jordan.
It's a really nice job by Nkosi Perry recognizing the blitz. They brought a blitz from the field. Cornerback Bryce Watts is going to blitz. Tight end was right out there in that flat. He replaced it. Nice job identifying it and delivering the pass by the freshman quarterback.
Blitz coming. Perry gets rid of it again. His same target, Will Mallory, makes the catch for a gain of 6 on the play. Floyd makes the tackle.
Remember, Griffin Jordan, the starting true freshman tight end, he left earlier with what looked like an ankle injury. He will not return, so it's another true freshman, Will Mallory, who's filling in his absence.
Miami Hurricanes trying to snap their 4-game losing streak and become bowl eligible. While the Hokies have a 25-year consecutive streak of going to a bowl game on the line. They need 2 wins. Perry rifles it incomplete, and Mallory got bent over backwards and is slow to get up.
They cannot afford to lose another tight end at this point.
We just mentioned the fact that Griffin Jordan is done for the game, and Will Mallory is the number 2 guy. And look what happens here. Got his leg caught underneath him.
Oh, he did. Man, that's hate to speculate, but the leg caught in the ground like that with his cleat and then getting bit back, you got to worry about the inside of that knee. Hate to see that.
Mallory, a true freshman like Jordan. Mallory from Jacksonville, Florida. Mentioned the fact that when Amon Richards was hurt, that took away a lot of the explosiveness and combustibility of that Hurricanes offense. And a good sign there as Mallory is able to get up. Here's the injury to Griffin Jordan in the first quarter.
Ankle getting bit underneath right there.
And this was the play a moment ago.
Mallory, that leg, you see, gets bent back underneath as he grabs his leg in pain.
And Michael Irvin Jr. is actually the starter. He was hurt several games ago and remains injured. 3rd and 4 for Miami. On the edge, Thomas picks up the first down and stops the clock with just under 2 minutes to play.
Little swing screen outside, get it in the hands of Jeff Thomas, right? I mean, he's a playmaker. They need to do a better job of getting him touches and getting him the football out in space. I absolutely love the blocking by these receivers. Outside, 18. You got Cager. You've also got 3, Harley. Nice job on a crucial 3rd down for the Hurricanes.
Picked up 6. Little jet screen again. Thomas stays on his feet. Houdini job and makes it down to the 35 and another 1st down. You know, Thomas waited patiently last year behind Braxton Berrios, who worked that slot like a magician last year for the Hurricanes.
Once again, up top, same set of receivers, same play, opposite side of the field. Good blocking, better job making people miss. They got to continue to get Jeff Thomas the football. He's the best playmaker they have outside for this Hurricane offense.
In field goal range. They can do a lot more. Homer between the tackles. And another 1st down for the Hurricanes right at the 25-yard line. Ashby makes the tackle. A gain of 10 yards for Miami.
Just an inside zone, but you can tell when Homer sees a lane, he gets downhill right now. Man, he runs with violence.
1 timeout remaining for Miami. Here he is again, Dusty. Almost broke it and picks up another 1st down right at the 15. Another 10 yards. So Homer getting it in chunks. And they're going to say that he came up just a little bit short, depending on the spot. So Mark Richt will burn his final timeout of the 1st half. And remember, they had that one on the very first play of the game. They'd love to have that one back right now. Hurricanes came out of the chute losing the 1st game of the season after being ranked in the top 25. They lost at LSU 33-17. And then right now in a current 4-game losing streak. The quarterbacking situation has been one of the things that you could easily point to as being the reason for their offensive inconsistency. The fact that Perry and Rozier have both started games this year, and Coach Richt hasn't been able to settle on just one guy.
Seems like he's decided N'Kosi Perry is the now and the future for this Miami Hurricane program. We have not seen Malik Rozier so far. Started 6 games this season for the Hurricanes. Perry making his 5th start, and they both share time in quite a few games. It has been a quarterback carousel this season for this Hurricane offense.
They feel like they only need 1 win. 2 years ago, they avoided a 3-game losing streak and went on to win 10 in a row. Homer picks up the 1st down at the 12-yard line with under a minute to play now.
You know, really this, I'd say the best drive they've had the entire game. This will give them a lot of confidence that they can cap it off the right way before going into half.
4 receivers. Perry keeps it. N'Kosi just short of the end zone. And boy, he put the sauce on Belmar. Picked up 13.
Outstanding read by N'Kosi Perry. Okay, it's a read game. The defensive end got too far up the field. He kept it. An outstanding cut.
No timeouts remaining. Perry takes it himself. Touchdown, Miami. N'Kosi, translated, means warrior. And he showed that warrior spirit and fight on that drive. His first rushing touchdown of the season and the first of his career. Baxa with the extra point, and Miami leads it by 3 with 33 seconds to go.
Well, this Hurricane offense needed a touchdown, and the redshirt freshman quarterback, he took matters into his own hands. Excellent read. Look at him put that move on 40 Belmar as he gets back up the field. I like the awareness, seeing nobody's on the outside. He says, I'm just going to take this one myself. And, you know, he didn't just take the snap and try to burrow behind his offensive line. He saw a big hole off to the left. Virginia Tech came in too tight. And very smart, a heady N'Kosi Perry makes proper plays there to cap off a touchdown drive.
Likes his defenders shaken, not stirred. Nice run into the end zone by the young man who's, Mark Richt says, showing a lot more poise.
You see what you did there with that?
You caught that.
I like that. That's good. You've been doing this a minute or something, man. Not your first rodeo, huh?
Oh, man.
That's well done.
They got a little lineage of quarterbacks at Miami. And N'Kosi Perry beginning to understand what it means to play quarterback at the University of Miami. Kelly, Kosar, Testaverde, Toretto, Erickson, Dorsey. It is a long and luminous list.
But to your point, you stopped at Dorsey. That was a long time ago. You know, I'm just saying, and that's really what they're lacking right now at the U, to get them back to where they want to be. Is it N'Kosi Perry? We'll see moving forward, but they have had that lineage of quarterbacks. But since Ken Dorsey, it's almost been a revolving door. Brad Kaya did a nice job, but he hasn't been that elite. No one, they haven't had that elite level quarterback in over 15 years, man.
Well, Mark Richt has some great facilities down there in Coral Gables now. And that's really going to give a boost to recruiting. That run by Stephen Peoples, brought down by Gerald Willis and Jaquan Johnson.
Gerald Willis hasn't made a lot of plays here so far, but man, what a story he's been, Jonesy. You know, with his background and transferring from Florida, set out last season, and 17 tackles for loss, as productive of any defensive tackle you'll find in all of college football. And I'm sure he's got quite a bit in store for this second half.
As does Perry, as the Hurricanes take a 3-point lead into the locker room. Coach Fuente imploring his team as they head in as well. Back. DJ Dallas back to get this kick. As we begin the third quarter of play, the Hurricanes will get the football to begin the second half. And Dallas watches it go out of bounds. It'll be first down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Mark Jones chopping it up alongside Dusty Dvorak, Molly McGrath down to the field
and running it very well.
Homer breaks a tackle and picks up 5. Let's go down to Molly.
Well, Mark, Miami's Mark Richt told me that touchdown at the end of the half completely changed their momentum because they were scrambling after both of their tight ends went out with injury. He said we needed to make something happen because those guys were the biggest part of our game plan, so we needed to adjust. He did tell me Will Mallory is available. He will try to play in the second half.
That's good news for them. Griffin Jordan out, the starting tight end. On second down, Perry got a man down the sidelines, incomplete. It appeared to drop right through the hands of Homer. I have to take a look at the replay here, but it appeared to go right through his hands. He had a touchdown pass dropped on him earlier, too.
Well, Perry got the matchup he wanted. It's Travis Homer in man-to-man coverage with the linebacker Dax Hollifield on the wheel route. Well, Gator arms there by Travis Homer. He's got to catch that ball and take it to the house. Second time today, pass catchers have let down N'Kosi Perry.
Yeah, D. Wiggins dropped a touchdown pass earlier. Perry lays this one over the middle, incomplete, no flag at the 40-yard line. So what could have been instead turns into fourth down, and they'll have to punt. That pass intended for Wiggins, working against Caleb Farley.
And it's good coverage outside. Pass was contested. They tried to go to him on the slant. Good coverage. Pass went a little bit high. Farley with outstanding coverage on the pass.
Spicer takes a Miami roll down to the 33-yard line. Do you think that the redshirt freshman quarterback N'Kosi Perry isn't locked in and has a lot riding on this? A little perturbed by that incompletion a moment ago as Homer couldn't make the catch.
Look, both of these teams got a lot riding on this game, right? 4-game losing streak for Miami. They're trying to become bowl eligible for their seniors. And we've talked about a lot. Virginia Tech, 25 straight years of making a bowl. These players, these coaches don't want to be the team that breaks the streak.
First down and 10 back the other way. Ryan Willis double pumps and broken up nicely at the 45-yard line by Trajan Bandy. Intended for Phil Patterson. Here's what's at stake tonight, folks. There's a look at the streak by Virginia Tech. They've been to 25 consecutive bowl games. That is amazing in this day and age in college football. This year, just 4-5, though.
Mark, I talked to Coach Frank Beamer before the game. He told me the 25-year bowl streak is what he is most proud of in the time here at Virginia Tech because it symbolizes the consistency of the program.
Sure does, and a standard of excellence that he built while he was here on the sidelines. Hazleton working against Michael Jackson for the first down.
Frank Beamer, the man that built this program, took it to national prominence, and rooting his Hokies here tonight.
Willis got it off just before being hit to the freshman Trey Turner. And Turner gets another first down at the 40-yard line.
Back-to-back excellent throws by Ryan Willis. The play previously was on the slant to Hazleton. I like how he sits in the pocket. He's going to take a big hit inside. And good adjustment to the football by the true freshman Trey Turner, who's had to step up with Grimsley and Kuma out tonight at wide receiver for Virginia Tech.
On 1st and 10, they hand it off. Peoples. Nice cutback. And makes it inside the 30-yard line for another first down. Stephen Peoples, a great story. Former walk-on, a big part of this offense, gets 11.
This is a sprint draw. There's penetration from Miami. They get up the field. Okay, but Peoples just going to make them miss. Makes one miss, makes two miss, and he gets to the perimeter for a nice pickup on first down. Excellent job of running by Stephen Peoples, and a guy who Justin Fuente said the best player on this Hokie team.
Willis took a shot as he let it go and into heavy traffic in white jerseys. Good pressure up front by Joe Jackson. Got there just a little bit late, almost had a sack on Ryan Willis. But a couple of defenders back there, including Vandy right now coming out of the ball game for Miami. They've got some players on defense for Miami.
So Ryan Willis trying to take a shot down the field to his favorite target, Damon Hazleton, but it's good coverage on the outside. And as you referenced, big hit on the quarterback by the defensive end, Joe Jackson. Ryan Willis was working that right shoulder after taking that hit. We'll see if that comes into play here in the second half.
Hand it off to Peoples. He spins around into heavy traffic. No gain on the play. Brought down just inside the 30-yard line. So third down coming up for the Hokies here on this, their opening drive of the second half. Ryan Willis making his 7th start. Came in for Jackson, who was injured in that upset loss against Old Dominion. Staring at 3rd and 9.
No Damon Hazleton on the field, and 3rd and long for the Hokies.
Little pressure coming, man coverage, and incomplete. His receiver Patterson broke inside. The pass went outside, and the look on his face says we left 6 on the field right there.
Miscommunication by quarterback and wide receiver. He's going to go to the near side of the field to Phil Patterson. He's got one-on-one coverage on Michael Jackson. Pass overthrown by Ryan Willis. They brought in pressure from the field. Willis had exactly the matchup he wanted to the boundary.
This field goal attempt is going to be wide left from 46 yards out. Would have been a career long. Instead, Miami dodging one, and they'll take over 1st down and 10. Well, if the eyes are the windows to the soul, you look inside his eyes and he's a little bruised right now. Back after this. Back here at Lane Stadium, the story of what could have been for the Miami Hurricanes. This drop by Wiggins in the first quarter had 6 points written all over it, and then Homer out of the backfield had nothing but open field in front of him. Instead, the Hurricanes leave some points out there. Perry scrambling out of harm's way and incomplete. And you look back to those 2 what could have been touchdowns. I know that University of Miami Law School grad Sarah Jones is at home in Miami watching that game and really upset with her turnover chain shirt on.
Who's Sarah Jones?
My bride, actually.
Oh, okay. I knew that. I just wanted to make sure that the
had to come super fan.
Fine folks at home.
Hurricane super fan. 2nd and 10. Out of the backfield, complete to Jeff Thomas, their playmaker.
She's just rocking the gold chain. You bought her, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You keep her looking good, right?
Well, you know, I know a good jeweler, the same place they got the turnover chain
right.
back in Miami. Got to have a good jeweler down there. Under 12 minutes to go. Perry looked like he was 24 karat on that last drive of the first half. On 3rd and 1 here. Hands it off to Cam Davis. And we're being told now that Will Mallory, the backup tight end, who was filling in for Griffin Jordan, who was out because of an injury, an ankle injury. Mallory now out because of a knee injury. So both their tight ends are done for the game.
And what we've seen since then, a lot of 4 wide receiver sets. We're seeing Daryl Langham, big target down here, 6'5", 235, almost a tight end himself. He's been playing quite a bit more so far. So, you know, when you don't have that tight end, it not only affects the pass game, but it affects their ability in the run game as well, because when they run the football, they utilize their tight end as sometimes a lead blocker. They use him to block on a defensive end to get to the second level linebacker. So I have to imagine for Mark Richt in this offense, they're having to change a lot of things now without any tight end to put on the field for this offense.
On 2nd and 10.
See some more 2-back stuff like we see here as well.
Perry keeps it, 1 man to beat. Made a great move and makes it out right to the first down. An interminable, great effort by Nkosi Perry. 10 yards.
And he makes the proper read, too. Defensive end closes. He was able to get to the edge. I love the way he puts this left foot in the ground. Little shake there on the safety. And how about the toughness and just effort to fight for the first down? Nice pickup on Nkosi Perry.
Made a great move on Diablo. From midfield, 1st and 10. That pass a little bit low, intended for Jeff Thomas. Jeff Thomas has made a lot of great catches this year for the Hurricanes. And that one, though, way too low. If you're looking at Perry, a little over halfway through the game, look at the numbers. What kind of grade would he give him?
I mean, I'd say, I don't know, C+ so far. I mean, he's 15 of 27, but he hasn't really thrown the football much down the field. Now, he hasn't gotten a lot of help from his wide receivers. He's made some nice plays with his legs here the last couple of drives.
Perry steps up, is going to run it this time. Made a good move and ends up about 2 yards short of the first down. I tell you what, with a C+, I would have taken a C+ in college and ran with it. That's pretty good.
There's Malik Rozier.
There's the backup guy.
He's just waiting, and if there is an opportunity for him to come in, but as we talked about for most of the day, Mark Richt has been steadfast all week that Perry is his guy.
3rd and 2. First down by Cam Davis, and he's looking to house it. Cam gone. Touchdown, Canes. From Carroll City, Florida, and from Carroll City to the Grove, all day, every day, Cam Davis with a touchdown run.
Well, the left side of that offensive line, Tyree St. Louis, Hayden Mahoney completely caved down the defensive line, and it's an outstanding cut by Cameron Davis. Excellent vision, speed, and when he hit that he hit it downhill, and nobody was going to catch the true freshman.
He had a nice touchdown run last week in that game against Georgia Tech. And that one very reminiscent to the one he had last week. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the season, a career-long 42. And how do you think his head coach felt about it? Tap for everybody. Back after this.
Griffin. Powerful. Be inspired. Be extraordinary.
When we're on campus, saw a few. I'm not counting, though. The count right now that matters is 24-14 for the Hurricanes. Leading the Hokies by 10 after that great run by Cam Davis a moment ago.
Let's take a look at it. Here, Emmanuel Belmar, okay? He's going to be the read guy. He's the defensive end. He gets up the field, so N'Kosi Perry is going to give it. Then on the right side, Tyree St. Louis, Hayden Mahoney. Watch him cave down that side of the line, and an outstanding cut. And he hits it downhill right now. And Cameron Davis has speed in the open field. Outstanding job cutting off the blocks and taking it to the house as Miami starting to run the football more effectively since the end of the first half here into the second half.
Let's see how the Hokies respond here on 1st down and 10. Boy, what a catch that time by Phil Patterson. It might have hit the ground, though. If he caught that, that was a tremendous effort. That ball was behind him.
They're trying to go as fast as they can. They do not want the booth to be able to look at this.
Willis completes it to Peoples. And Peoples picks up another 1st down. Let's go back to the previous one with Phil Patterson.
See Phil Patterson go down to the ground. Hands. And that view,
our view was obscured by the DB on the play. Here's a better angle.
Oh, that's on the ground.
Yeah.
Surprised they at least take a look at it, right?
Well, he's got away with one. 1st down and 10. Willis almost picked off. Boy, what a play. Out of bounds. Bandy broke it up, knocked it into the air, and almost came down with it, Dusty.
Trajan Bandy has been fantastic today. I mean, in man-to-man coverage, he's been locking people down, getting his hand on the football. Watch, he basically runs the route for the wide receiver. First gets the pass breakup. He tries to get the toes in bounds, but he's out. Outstanding individual effort by Trajan Bandy, the sophomore corner.
On 2nd down, backside heat. Pass complete to Hazelton. It's loose. The Hurricanes scoop it at the 40-yard line. Sheldrick Redwine, was he ruled down? He wasn't. It's going to be Miami football and break out the bling and the chain.
Oh, and Ryan Willis took a shot from Trajan Bandy, who came in on a cornerback blitz. Willis was able to get the ball out in time, but a big hit by Romeo Finley as the Hurricanes have broken the chain out once again for the 2nd time today. Huge play here in the 2nd half. Let's see if Hazelton was still up when that ball comes out.
Oh, yeah.
That ball's out, no question. Nice job, Romeo Finley, and then the scoop. He wanted to scoop and score. Redwine, so long as he possesses that football and gets his offense the ball back.
Yeah, that's a good-looking Cuban link.
Break out the chain.
8.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. The offense working with good field position to start. Thomas got a nice block and spins down to about the 35-yard line. You know, Jeff Thomas learned a lot of things from Philip Dorsett, who's now with the New England Patriots. One of those things is, Dusty, interestingly enough, he learned how to make acrobatic catches by watching Dorsett practice throwing a tennis ball over the top of his head and catching it over his head. Interesting drill.
Yeah.
Have you seen that much on practice fields?
Not that exact drill, but
that's a new one, right?
Absolutely, it's a new one. It's definitely helped out Jeff Thomas.
Yeah, he's made a lot of plays this year.
Season, yeah.
Putting some money on tape.
Boy, this would be a huge stop for Virginia Tech if they could get their offense the ball back. After a costly turnover from their offense.
Not sure what the officials had to discuss there, but we're going to play now on 3rd and 6. They're 5 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. Going without tight end, both their tight ends injured. 4 wideouts. Perry's got protection. And another drop, this one by Langham, who made that acrobatic catch in the end zone for a touchdown. So 4th and 6 coming up. Perry gazing at the sidelines, but Rick going to send in his special teams unit, and the punter, Jack Spicer.
Well, N'Kosi Perry hung in the pocket. He waited, and he waited till his target came open. He puts that pass on the money.
Wow, Dusty.
He's got to get some help from his targets. Darrell Langham with a straight-up drop. That's the third time today Miami pass catchers have let their quarterback down.
Here's a punt from Spicer with the nose of the football down. It's going to be inside the 15 at about the 12-yard line. So a good net on the play. 23-yard punt. Tell you what, he hasn't fired that cannon off in a while. Things getting cold. As night has fallen here in Blacksburg, Virginia Tech trailing Miami. Trying to end that 3-game losing streak. Mike Smith making the tackle that play for the Hurricanes. You're looking at one of the top defenses in the country, folks. Leading the nation in tackles for loss. And Willis limping to the huddle.
Top in the country in tackles for loss, like you mentioned. Second in pass defense in all of college football. Fourth in total yards given up. Fourth and third downs. I mean, this is an elite defense for Manny Diaz and the Miami Hurricanes.
Willis feeling some of that heat. And incomplete at the 15-yard line. A low throw for Cunningham. And there's a look at Mallory. He gave it a go in the aftermath of injuring his knee. And is heading back to the locker room.
Been back in a bad way.
They've had 2 of their tight ends go down in the same game here in the first half. And now another Miami player,
Mike Smith.
Smith being helped off the field for the Hurricanes. He was in on the tackle a moment ago. Got rolled up on. 3rd down and 9 for Virginia Tech. Blitz coming. And Willis is sacked back at the 9-yard line. Shaq Quarterman, the first guy to get there. He's the alpha dog of that defense for the Miami Hurricanes. 6th sack of the season for Quarterman.
Well, Manny Diaz goes man outside. He's going to bring pressure. Quarterman also going to bring Carter right there. Quarterman's blocked initially. It's Carter that comes clean, flushes Finley, and you'll see Quarterman, the instinctive football player he is. He works off the block and gets a nice sack on Ryan Willis. Shaq Quarterman, an outstanding player. Sack, interception, just all over the field for this Hurricanes defense.
A little shaken up there. Miami's going to get good field position. Thomas peels it on the bounce, still on the loose. Jeff Thomas getting to the corner. Turns it upfield. Thomas lunging. Touchdown Hurricanes.
He was tight-roping that sideline, Jonesy. I'm not 100% sure if he stayed in or not. My guess is he'll take a look. He was right on it. But what an outstanding return by Thomas.
Jeff, call me Jet Thomas. Let's see if he stayed in bounds.
He's got some great speed. Tight roping it. He was right there. No, he's good.
Yeah, there's Green, but what a lunge.
Wow.
What a broad leap for the end zone. Jeff Thomas with a spirited dash down the sidelines.
Excellent job tight roping the sideline. He leaps from about the 4. Man, I don't know if he was a triple jumper back in the day, but what an effort by Jeff Thomas.
He takes off from right around the 5-yard line. He's still in bounds. And he leaps right there.
Yeah, he's good.
He's in bounds.
He's good. Yeah, there's Green there. He's good. He's in bounds. He leaps. That's touchdown.
A yard deep.
What an outstanding job by our camera crew to give us all those angles. 51-yard touchdown
After
return.
further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
They gave the Hokies a lesson in Beamer ball on special teams. in the house of Frank Beamer.
2 takeaways today for Miami, one setting them up for a score, now a special teams touchdown. Miami doing all the little things they need to do to go on the road and in this losing streak.
The extra point is good by Bubba Baxa. Jeff Thomas with a jet down the sidelines. And he is leaping for glory. Flying into the end zone like Superman. Back after this.
/scan.
Miami, the most points scored since September the 27th against North Carolina. In the previous 4 games during this losing streak, they'd only scored a total of 60 points, averaging just 15 per, but exploding here against Virginia Tech with 31 right now, and right now in the midst of a 21-0 run.
Defense, special teams. When your offense is struggling, that's 2 parts of the game that can really help out an offense that needs an injection of life, and they've gotten that here today.
It's like Bubba Baxa on the kickoff slipped and fell. It came up a little bit short and is taken out to the 31-yard line by DeBose. One more look at Bubba Baxa. Might have shanked it, hit it fat.
Looked like the ball was moving before he ever actually hit it. Well, this is a crucial drive right here, Jonesy, for Virginia Tech. Now down 17 points. They got to make something happen.
Willis out of the backfield. That's his tight end, Dalton Keene. Picks up 7 on the play. Mark Jones alongside Dusty Dvorak, chopping it up with Molly McGrath down on the field. Miami, with a win today, would become bowl eligible. Virginia Tech needs 2 games, 2 wins to become bowl eligible. And they have a game that they had canceled because of weather. And they are thinking about potentially looking at whether or not there would be another game to play and how feasible it might be. A loss of 4 on the play.
I would expect that they try to make something happen. Listening to Justin Fuente this week in his press conference, they're in conversations, and I would imagine they're going to be able to make that happen if they need it.
Flag down. Pass complete to Peoples out near midfield. Of course, next week they have their game against Virginia coming up.
Big rivalry matchup.
Holding, offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And then they'd, the following week, after Virginia, potentially, if circumstances fall their way, schedule a team to play perhaps the following week of December the 1st, and perhaps qualify for that 6th win, which would make them bowl eligible.
Championship weekend.
Yep.
You get an opportunity to find someone they could put on the schedule, because week number 3 with the Hurricane, East Carolina game was canceled. Gives them the opportunity to replace that if they can find a willing participant.
Please reset the game clock to 4 minutes, 36 seconds. The clock will start on my signal.
And we heard the players, including Ryan Willis right there, talk about the fact that they do not want to be carrying the ignominy, the unceremonious distinction of being the class that ended that streak of 25 consecutive bowls. Virginia Tech at 4-5 overall. On 3rd and 16. Peoples incomplete. And Romeo Finley was in heavy pursuit. 4th down coming up, in Virginia Tech will have to punt again.
Well, it's good coverage in the flats by Romeo Finley, but boy, conservative decision there by Ryan Willis on 3rd and 16, just to throw it to his running back out in the flats.
And in fairness to Willis and Fuente, Grimsley is out. He's got 25 receptions on the season. Eric Kuma, one of their leading receivers, also out because of injury. So a lot of the heavy lifting falling on Hazleton in terms of the receiving corps tonight. Thomas Took one back a moment ago. We'll see if they kick it away from him. He watches it bounce at the 40 and scoops it up. Thomas has a block out in front of him. Well, Jeff Thomas, you got to hold your breath a little bit when he touches that football.
He's electric with the football in his hands. Can make you miss, has that speed.
Hey, speaking of intrigue and electricity coming into a game, instead of in Mexico, it's going to be in Los Angeles. Chiefs against the Rams. A couple of 9-1 teams. 8:15 Eastern time, 5:15 Pacific on ESPN. Also simulcast in Spanish on ESPN News and the ESPN app. So you can watch that game anywhere. Goff, Mahomes, a couple of great quarterbacks.
Those two.
Who do you like in that game? Who wins?
Who do I like in that game?
Yeah. Come on, give it to me.
I'm going to say the Chiefs win. I think Cooper Kupp, a receiver that's down, lost for the season with a torn ACL, I think that's going to hurt that Rams offense. Man, that's so tough, though. Aaron Donald, the defensive tackle, is so much fun to watch. I'll tell you what, I say good on the NFL, though, for moving that game from Mexico City to L.A. That field in Mexico City was subpar, unplayable. It's the right call and a good decision by the National Football League. Who you got in that game, man?
I'm a Rams guy. I love the fact that this is a team right now that is red hot. Goff did a bunch of his games at Cal. Got a hot hand. Not that Mahomes is any slouch either.
Todd Gurley's not bad in the backfield.
They've been dealing with adverse circumstances with the forest fires out there too in Los Angeles. Perry stays on his feet, then finally sacked back at the 49-yard line. You know, ironically, N'Kosi Perry, when he was coming up through high school, he modeled his game after a guy that used to play football here, Mike Vick. That was his idol. Both he and Deshaun Watson, who finished up at Clemson a couple of years ago, and now Perry's splitting out at wide receiver. DJ Dallas out of the Wildcat. Actually, it's Travis Homer.
First charge timeout. Miami. 30-second timeout.
We're talking about Perry patterning his game after Mike Vick. A pretty good guy to follow if you're learning how to become a quarterback.
Michael Vick, guy was amazing. Unbelievable what he was able to do for the Hokies back in the day.
He could spin it back here.
Yes, he could. I'd say that's a tremendous guy to look up to, but tough guy to emulate. Not many people have had the skill set of the speed, ability to make people miss, and then just an unbelievable arm Michael Vick possessed. I actually, you know, when you look at the University of Oklahoma, Kyler Murray, talked to a lot of NFL scouts this year about him.
And we saw him. He's fast, too.
That's really the only comp that you have for Kyler Murray is going back to Michael Vick. Murray a little bit shorter, but
he got wheels.
The acceleration, the speed, and ability to throw the football, very similar.
Where's he in your Heisman standings right now?
And he's got to be right there below Tua, if not ahead of him. Right? That's 1-2.
Okay.
I think there's really a close third either. Those two have, for me, separated themselves.
On 2nd and 19, Perry. They set up the screen to Homer. Got a blocker out in front of him. Got that kick-out block. And makes it down to the 37-yard line. Bulware was out in front of him, number 50. That offensive line has been under scrutiny the last couple of weeks for the Hurricanes. What do you make of their play today, Dustin?
They've been solid up front. Done a nice job, I think, protecting N'Kosi Perry for the most part. I mean, Virginia Tech's been able to hit with a couple of blitzes to get him down, but we've really seen the latter half of the first half into the second half and able to run the football much more effectively.
They run it again here. Homer! Inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Floyd finally making the tackle. 1st and goal, Miami. He picked up 31. Taking the steam out of the Hokies crowd and defense.
At left side of the offensive line there, Vinzel Bulware, also 78, Tyree St. Louis, opened up a big, gaping hole off the left side. A nice pickup for Homer.
This is the true freshman Davis, and Davis with nowhere to go this time. Had that touchdown run on the last time. He was able to get his hands on the football. Loss of 3.
That's Taiwan Garbett. The redshirt freshman got his first start a week ago, had 3 tackles for loss. They love what he brings to the table. He's got an outstanding first step. Penetrates, plays on the other side of the football. A tackle for loss for the redshirt freshman. He's got a bright future here in Blacksburg.
Second and goal from the 11.
False start. Offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's the freshman All-American last year, Donaldson. He's been moved around a little bit from tackle, guard. Played a couple of different spots on that line for Mark Richt this year.
That's a big man. He is physical in the run game. Where he's kind of struggled is pass protection. Got into trouble against Duke a little bit, gets overextended. Actually didn't start a week ago. He started back again today, but when he gets those bear paws on you, look out. He is a powerful man.
Second and 16 now. Wide open out of the backfield. Touchdown, Davis. His second one of the day. And a lot to give thanks for if you're Cam Davis. Played his high school ball for the Carroll City Chiefs.
It's man-to-man coverage, and nobody accounts for the running back over in the flats. Simple swing pass to Cameron Davis, and nobody's there as he takes it in to the end zone. That's a breakdown in coverage. One that Bud Foster's not going to be happy about.
The extra point good by Bubba Baxa as we go back to the studio.
All right, Jonesy, Boston College and Florida State. Anthony Brown, 26-yard touchdown pass to Jeff Smith. Right now, 14-13, Golden Eagles have the lead. It's over on ESPN2. Jonesy?
Okay, Adnan, and Cam Davis with that touchdown a moment ago, almost unimpeded into the end zone. As the Hurricanes looking good here, leading by 24 points and causing a little bit of consternation from defensive coordinator Bud Foster, who has said this is a big challenge, and he's right. This is the youngest defense he's ever had at Virginia Tech, and up against a very talented personnel-wise offense for the Miami Hurricanes.
Been a frustrating season for Bud Foster, who has a high standard and level of expectation for his defenses here at Virginia Tech. He lost a lot of talented players from a season ago, and a couple of guys had to be dismissed from his defense early on in the season. A rash of injuries. I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but been a very challenging year for Bud Foster and the defensive staff.
They'll come out to the 25-yard line as we take a look back, Dusty, at our Buick Drive recap. And the Hurricane offense really getting its rhythm now.
Yeah, they have a little screen out into the flats to Homer. The big bodies outside. And Homer with a big run off the left side. I love the way this guy runs. Physical, punishes people. And there's a breakdown in coverage. Dax Hollyfield's got to have Cameron Davis man-to-man coverage on the outside. Doesn't run with them, and it's an easy touchdown for the Hurricanes.
Pass complete by Ryan Willis. First down to Hazleton.
That's a first down, Hokies.
Mark, with that last Miami touchdown, the life was absolutely sucked out of the stadium, and the Virginia Tech players look like they've resigned themselves to losing. They're expressionless. They're not getting fired up at all. Everyone except for Ryan Willis. He told me he feels all the pressure in the world, doesn't want to be the one to get this bowl streak.
Yeah, he talked to us about that, Molly, as Patterson runs for the first down after the catch. And the body language really speaking volumes. A 13-yard gain on the play. Don't see a lot of chatter or bouncing up and down on the sidelines. And the injured Miami player on the field is Gerald Willis. Getting up slowly. You know, he changed his number to number 9. Chad Thomas wore number 9 last year for the Miami Hurricanes, and Willis changed his number because he wanted to be the type of leader that Thomas was last year for the Hurricanes. Thomas now playing for the Cleveland Browns.
Player for Miami, number 9, Gerald Willis.
Gerald Willis will be playing on Sundays pretty soon.
What do you like about the way he plays?
Man, he's got kind of a great combination of quickness off the football. He can beat you with speed, but he can also beat you with power. He can just straight up run through offensive linemen. So when you're north of 300 pounds and you've got that unique combination of size, quickness, speed, and power, translates very well to this level and the next level.
Pass complete to Hazelton from his roommate, Ryan Willis. Another first down for the Hokies. Under a minute to go here on the gain of 18. Third quarter winding down. On the toss, a little option game to the true freshman Turner. And Turner tackled about a yard shy of the first down. And that's going to be the end of the third quarter of play. The Miami Hurricanes leading. Looking to end their 4-game losing streak. 15 minutes to play in Blacksburg when we come back.
Saturday night.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Blacksburg and Lane Stadium aglow at night. This was the scene a moment ago, and lip readers out there, we apologize for what you might see etched across the countenance and lips of head coach Justin Fuente. He was engaged passionately with Ryan Willis, his quarterback. Peoples makes past the line of scrimmage. What do you make of what you just saw?
That's just frustration. And, you know, you got to be able to understand that. Frustration by the coaches, by these players. You know, this isn't the season they had anticipated, and there's a lot of pressure. I mean, that 25 straight seasons of making a bowl, we referenced it earlier. Molly mentioned how Frank Beamer himself said how important that is to him. You don't want to be that coach. Yeah. You don't want to be these players. So I can understand the frustration boiling over as we just saw there.
They need a score on this drive. They set up the screen. Peoples met immediately at the 23 by Romeo Finley. Finley was the guy that caused the fumble a little bit earlier in the game. Seen the turnover chain twice here this football game.
That's an outstanding play by Romeo Finley. He knifes through 2 offensive linemen. They had 2 guys out there, Hewitt as well as Darisaw. And Romeo Finley just works his way through there, makes a nice tackle behind the line of scrimmage on the screen.
Even Frank Beamer probably liked that play, appreciating good defense. Willis still on his feet, not for long. Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Jonesy, thank you. You mentioned appreciating good defense. That's what Michigan is built on, and also that power running game. Karan Higdon on first and goal as the Wolverines take the lead against Indiana. 22-17 and still tight midway through the third. Jonesy?
I think the Wolverines are looking ahead a little bit.
I think both them and Ohio State might have been looking ahead a little bit today.
Scott Patchen down on the field. The Miami player shaken up. We'll get some info on the other side. Stick around. And welcome back, everyone, to college football on ESPN. Presented by PlayStation 4. Miami leading 38-14 with 13:32 to go here in the fourth quarter. Hokies with the football. They need a score. 3rd and 9 and a sack. Back at the 27-yard line. A bunch of guys got there at the same time. Michael Jackson, the real thriller on that one, had Joe Jackson to accompany him.
Wow. How about this pass rush? Okay, here's what we're going to watch. We're going to take a look. We're going to see. He's going to come up underneath. We're going to see a nice sack here by Jackson. They're going to run a little game with the linebacker. We'll see a twist. Michael Jackson came from out of your screen. Nice job on the pressure of that Miami front.
Hokies have to go for it here on 4th down. That pass incomplete. At the 7-yard line, intended for Keene, broken up by Carter. And the Hurricanes will take over on downs.
And once again, excellent coverage by Amari Carter, working in the slot over the tight end. Dalton Keene just runs stride for stride with him, and he's in perfect position to get the pass breakup. Hurricane defense has really stepped its game up here in the second half, Jonesy.
You said earlier in the week when we had our production meeting that this team was really good defensively. As we take a look at today's PlayStation Player Index, and Kosi Perry, completions to 12 different receivers, and looking much more poised and self-assured than he did in his last road start. This is Dallas. And Dallas picks up the first down. I want to go back to Perry.
We're gonna bump his grade up.
Okay.
He's getting up into the B's now.
You know, sometimes
pretty soon he may be an A player.
So he resubmitted his paper, and you're going to give him a better grade then, huh?
I really do think. I mean, you asked me that at the beginning of the third quarter. He's gotten better and better and better throughout the course of the game. Constant improvement, which is, I'm sure, something Mark Richt's going to appreciate, and hopefully he continue to grow from this.
First down and 10. Hands it off to the freshman Davis. And Davis brought down after a gain of a yard on the play. Davis has a couple of touchdowns. Coming up later on ABC, our College Football Saturday rolls on with another big one. Cincinnati taking on undefeated and 9-0 UCF at 8 p.m. Eastern. Like everything else, you can watch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere. What grade would you give McKenzie?
A.
Okay.
He's an outstanding quarterback, man. Small in stature, but, man, he has got a great arm and a very good feel for that offense. Gets them in the right plays. It's going to be a fun game tonight.
Yeah.
The Jump House.
Haven't done a game there in a while.
It moves, man.
Yeah. Literally, really?
It moves. Yeah. The aluminum bleachers, when they start swaying, they get into it. Fowler and Herb Street, they're going to have to hold on, man.
Josh Heupel got a good thing going down there. I love that sign, Nightmare on Herb Street.
The UCF
were they working
fans,
Herbie on that?
They were working Herbie, all of them. These UCF fans, man, they loud and proud.
Well, I wouldn't mind seeing them in the college football playoff.
We're going to have to get a new system before that's going to happen.
Yeah. But their record, the American Conference and the college football playoff is in the
record,
New Year's Six Bowls.
3-1.
3-1. Yeah. So they've acquitted themselves very well. 2nd and 8. Carry to DJ Dallas. DJ couldn't spin on that one as we take a fresh look. Brought to you by Wendy's. UCF trying to crack that party right now, and those 4 teams holding down the top spots. There'd have to be way too many things to happen, right, for UCF to make it?
Yeah.
Like, are you saying impossible?
Yeah, I'm saying it's impossible for them to make it this season. It just, the system isn't.
Yeah. You can dream. I can dream. Dylan Rivers.
I'm not saying that's necessarily right.
Right.
I think the way the current system is set up, I mean, aside from an independent Notre Dame, if you're not in the Power 5, I don't think you're going to make it.
I think it's an indictment on college football if a team goes undefeated 2 years in a row and doesn't get invited to the college football playoff.
Don't get the opportunity to have it played out on the field.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'm in agreement with you, but I'm just saying that, they show their strength of schedule. I think it's 119th in college football. Use that against them, and it just.
Yeah.
You're going to have to see, I would say, an expansion of the playoff before you're going to see a team from the group of 5 crack that top 4.
I mean, in any sport, if you go undefeated on the season, you deserve to be in the mix. Especially back-to-back years.
Tough to go undefeated.
3rd down and 6 for Perry.
By the way, they got a tough matchup tonight with Cincinnati. Cincinnati's physical. It's going to be a good game in Orlando.
Cincinnati coming in at 9-1 tonight, and a little motion up front on that offensive line. That was Mahoney.
Offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So they'll back it up a little bit. Talked about the fact that Perry is from Ocala, Florida. Mentioned that Dante Culpepper, also from the Central Florida city. You know who else is from there? Lamar Thomas. Okay. One of the old great receivers for the University of Miami.
Yeah, how you know so much about the U, man?
Pay my taxes in Dade County.
Okay.
3rd and 11. Perry hands it off to Homer. Pardon me, that's the freshman Davis. And Davis getting on his giddy-up all the way down to the 25-yard line. Boy, he is earning himself some more reps, wouldn't you think, Dustin?
Hurricane fans got to be excited about 23 Cameron Davis. Like the ability, patience. Do you see the burst, break and tackle? Let me give you a little stiff arm. Runs right between the 2 blocks that are set up outside. Gets an excellent pickup when initially didn't look like much was there. Man, a lot to like about Cameron Davis. Vision and speed really been on display these last 2 weeks.
7 rushes for 77 yards and a touchdown on the ground tonight. Perry keeps it. Took a hit and goes down at about the 21. Under 9 minutes to play. You know who else is from Ocala? John Travolta.
I'm guessing you got many more in the bag, right? You're just getting started.
You like fishing, right? That's a great fishing town.
I like to fish.
Yeah. Ocala's got some great fishing spots.
I like deep sea fishing.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'd take you to the ocean on that one.
Come on, man.
2nd and 6. It's the Hurricanes that caught a big one tonight, though. Homer in the backfield on 2nd down. That handoff is to Travis Homer. 3rd down coming up. Mark Richt can afford to play conservatively here, up 38-14. They've scored 28 unanswered points. And the Hurricanes, with a win tonight, would become bowl eligible.
Like we've seen from the ground game tonight, especially again as this game has progressed, they've run it more and more effectively. And they've put N'Kosi Perry in good spots, good situations. Doesn't take a lot of shots down the field, but a good job taking what the defense gives it.
Homer runs it into the boundary, a flag down on the play. Homer pushed out of bounds at about the 23.
It's going to come back. Potentially maybe a high-low. .78-62. Looked like they might have high-low 55 Jared Hewitt.
Personal foul. Chop block against the offense. Number 62 and 78. 15-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's a dangerous play, too. Mahoney in St. Louis.
Yeah, and if an offensive lineman is engaged with a defender, you cannot block below the waist. Roll that right there. Kind of happens simultaneously. 62 Hayden Mahoney goes low. He's going for the cut, and 78 St. Louis is up top. It's happened to me a fair amount of times in my career, Jones, and I can tell you, I like that they do a better job of noticing it and calling that throughout the course of the game. For a long time, plays like that happened, and you didn't get a lot of penalties, but now I think the officials do a nice job of identifying that and getting it out of the game of football.
Probably the reason you've had a couple of ACL surgeries.
Didn't help. Yeah, it didn't help. That's for sure.
Another run by Travis Homer puts the ball in the middle of the field on 4th down coming up. Picks up 5 on the play. Ashby making the tackle. Mark Richt back in Coral Gables, where he attended the University of Miami, played football for Howard Schnellenberger back in the day. Happy about the fact that their facilities are very much on par with a lot of the big schools, major conference schools now, and excited about the upcoming pro day this year that they'll have in spring, and thrilled to be able to spend a lot of his downtime with his grandkids. He's got 4 sons. His son, one of his sons on staff, quarterback coach.
That indoor is supposed to be gorgeous, right?
Yes, very impressive.
They've been waiting for a while to upgrade those facilities and get on par, as you just kind of mentioned, with the other teams and, you know, kind of their status of college football. And sure sounds like they feel that they're on that equal footing now.
In his third year on the sidelines as the head coach, former member of the national championship staff at Florida State a couple of times. Has his wife and his bride Catherine works the sidelines, keeping the guys hydrated.
Family affair.
Yes.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 6, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Back up the punter, give him a little bit more room. Maybe they can try to pin him inside the 10. Punting has been it's been a challenge this year for this Hurricane football team.
Well, this is Fiegel's punting, not Spicer. They try and spot this one inside the 20. They get a great roll. And it'll be down at about the 3-yard line. The Hokies 97 yards away. Carroll City to Allapattah to Overtown to Liberty City. They're feeling nice right now. From the 3. Willis completes it out to the 25-yard line. I tell you, this true freshman Trey Turner has put in a good day's work.
Well, they needed someone to step up. They had 2 wide receivers down that usually start, Hezekiah Grimsley and Eric Kuma. So there's an opportunity there, and Trey Turner's made the most of it. Nice job out of the slot, little wheel route. Ryan Willis puts a lot of air underneath the football, allows the receiver to make a nice play.
5:20 to go. This is Holston, and he makes it back to the line of scrimmage.
Miami allowing some of their reserves to get in and get some work here, as they pulled away to a comfortable lead with 5 minutes to play in the game.
Manny Diaz still coaching him up. Of course, his father, Manny Sr., was the former mayor of the city of Miami. A prominent figure down there in South Florida. Complete to Fox, and Fox took a hit, brought down about a yard shy of that first down.
And this is how you build depth, though. And you're able to get yourself in a position to get a lead, get these guys in, and you kind of mentioned it, Manny Diaz still coaching them up. Well, it's because these are big reps for these young guys that don't get to see the field very often.
Another important part of being able to go to a bowl game, the young guys get more time, and Silvera there to make the tackle. Brought down Holston on the play. Fourth down coming up for the Hokies, and a player injured on the field. We're going to take a break and come right back after this.
Game over on ABC, and what a surprise. High scoring. Mountaineers up by 3. Early 4th, Jonesy.
All right, Adnan, 4th and 2 back here for the Hokies. A little over 4 minutes to go. And they keep it. Ryan Willis picks up the first down. A gain of 7. Well, Sports Center tonight after Arizona Washington State with Zubin and John Anderson breaking down today's games.
Zubin and John Anderson.
And the college football playoff rankings. LeBron's reaction to the Lakers' recent surge. They're above 500. Inside look at the Warriors without Steph Curry. Sports Center after college football on ESPN and on the ESPN app. Nice run by Holston. And Holston inside the 35.
Really nice job on the inside zone. Makes a couple of people miss. Quality pickup. The sophomore has emerged the last couple of weeks. Done a nice job spelling Stephen Peoples when he has to come out.
Gonna run it again, and it's Holston again. Picked up about 8 on the play. with under 3 minutes to go. So Virginia Tech will fall to 4-6 and play Friday night against Virginia. Got a nice winning streak going against the Cavaliers.
14 straight.
Yes.
That rivalry.
So if that's win number 5, then you start trying to potentially look for an opponent, drop some contracts, and get that 6th win. It happened to Florida State last year, right?
We've
seen a canceled game.
We've seen it before. I'd be surprised if Virginia Tech isn't able to get that extra game. I mean, we'll see how this exactly plays out, but my expectation is that they're going to be able to find someone, and that first weekend in December, we'll see them playing that 12th game of the year. Now, that being said, they got to beat Virginia next week, who's having a heck of a season. Bronco Mendenhall has turned that program around. They got to make it 15 straight for that game to even matter.
And Willis is going to be sacked and pile-driven back at the 45 by Sheldrick Redwine.
Kenny Diaz still dialing up blitzes, Jonesy.
Redwine and Jaquan Johnson, those two safeties have been playing football together in Richmond Heights, Miami, that part of the county, Dade County, since they were youngsters. Those two guys, quite the tandem.
Excellent camaraderie between those two. How about this? Same high school, same birthday as well.
Yeah.
And longtime friends and longtime teammates, and really do a nice job on the back of that Miami defense.
That pass picked off in the end zone by Dean. And he gets down at the 10-yard line. And one more appearance for the turnover chain. Oh, and we got some extra activity going on the field. Some tempers flaring.
Well, there was some pushing and shoving, and then Silvera, he tossed somebody to the ground. That's when it really, you saw the refs come in and the flags begin to fly.
Not a good sign when your quarterback has to get out of the fray. He got clocked.
Really, it's been the second half, though. This is a 17-14 game at halftime, and Miami scored on the final possession before the half to go up a score, and it's been all them ever since. I think 28 unanswered points. This Miami Hurricane football team, and just completely dominated the second half of this contest.
Now let's take a look at today's hardest working player, brought to you by Duluth Trading Company. Nkosi Perry threw a dime there for a touchdown to Langham.
Like some of the runs he was able to make. As you would say, he broke out some of the sauce today. No, most importantly, he took care of the football. No turnovers for this Hurricane football team today. Took what the defense gave him and really showed up and played a nice game. Got to give him a lot of credit.
And the offense, unlike in previous games, did not have any fumbles or turnovers. That a big key to their success.
And his first road ACC start, too, by the way. Win, I apologize. His first win on the road as a starter in ACC play.
Hurricanes will win this one 38-14, snapping their 4-game losing streak. And all will be well tonight on that flight home to Coral Gables for Mark Richt and his team. 38-14 the final. Stay tuned for college football scoreboard next on ESPN. From Mullen McGrath, Dusty Dvorak, and our talented crew behind the camera you never get a chance to see, I'm Mark Jones saying so long, and right now we're going to send you to the studio for college football scoreboard. Later.